Andrew Johns will get proceedings underway here at Marathon Stadium. The Newcastle Knights running into a very stiff breeze at this stage. The ball goes loose. Not the start the Gold Coast Chargers were looking for, but luckily they get out of their own territory. And David Miles from acting half will take the first tackle.
That was an excellent kick-off from Andrew Johns into an extremely strong southerly breeze. He's landed that ball just 5 metres from the goal line. A bit of confusion from the Gold Coast players, and they're under extreme pressure to get off their line in this first set of 6.
As they try and move away from their own territory, Scott Sattler has signed a new 3-year deal with Penrith. Final tackle now for the Gold Coast. The kick goes in there from Thorburn. Down it goes to Dearest. Has it. Picks up 8 metres. Joining us on the sideline. Matter back rower Justin Morgan. Conditions on the sideline.
Too bad. It's very windy down here. The wind's certainly in the Gold Coast favour in the first half. The ground's come up surprisingly well after the rain, etc., that we've had over the last few days. But like I said earlier, the wind's going to play a very big part in this game.
New comments throughout the day. It's Tony Butterfield, 32 years of age, and he just loses that ball. So an early break here for the Gold Coast Chargers as that breeze continues to swirl.
Yeah, we just see him lose this one as he was looking to put it down and get up and get a quick play of the ball. That's let the Gold Coast off the hook a little bit. They were under a bit of pressure after that kick-off mishap. It'll be interesting to see how Danny Butterus goes at fullback. He is a 5'8", usually, and he's been playing a hooker. It's strange to see somebody playing at fullback wearing the number 9 jersey, Terry, but especially with this breeze, I'm sure the Coast will test him out early.
I guess that's the penalty of being so versatile.
All right, let's just pack a scrum.
Butterfield.
No butt.
No butt. For Tony Butterfield. He's had a little bit of a running battle with referees throughout this year. Now packing down in the scrums, Tony Butterfield. Gold Coast Chargers are missing their regular skipper and Graham Mackay, suspended for 3 games. And now as Nahi takes it forward, they're looking to avoid the wooden spoon. As you can see the contrast in their positions on the table at the moment. Newcastle in 3rd place, the Gold Coast Chargers in 19th. Have had just 4 wins for the entire year. McAllister now, 35 metres out from the try line. Corbin for Sattler, back for Andrew King on the inside. Gold Coast Chargers with absolutely nothing to lose. Again the high ball, charge down. Pinch really has it. Peter Shields, in fact, the offload to Andrew Johns. This is where they're so dangerous on the counter-attack.
Yeah, great work from Peter Shields there. The bomb was going to go up as the Knights make a mistake. It's gone back and will be play on. It was good work. There was going to be some pressure on Danny Butterus. We talked about that. The Coast were looking to put the ball in the air, but good play from the Knights.
Harrigan, the crowd. They rise in anticipation every time he touches the ball. Matthew Johns. Quick ball for Peter Shields, who came up with that charge down to give the Newcastle Knights possession. Final tackle now. Andrew King, the Gold Coast Chargers fullback, waits with trepidation at the back. The kick across field. The wind swirling. He got there on the first bounce, King, and did a good job to come away from his line.
That ball dropped fairly quickly because of that breeze. Andrew Johns didn't get it as high as he would have liked. Great defence there from Johns.
Justin Morgan on the sideline. Not a good day to be a fullback, is it?
No, it's not a job that I'd like. Quentin Tchaikovsky from our side a couple of weeks ago when we played the Knights up here had a nightmare. And I'm sure the Johns boys are going to test out the wingers and the fullbacks from the Gold Coast this evening.
Yeah, similar conditions as they move the ball. Can't get around his man, Jason Hudson. Has the very big job of trying to be the crowd pleaser for the Gold Coast that Marcus Bai was last season. The kick goes in. Corbin. But Dearest is back there to take it. Positioned himself well. And driven sideways in that tackle. Jason Nickel coming up with the hit. Flung away a touch, but not too much in it. Owen Craigie is off contract at the end of this season, looking for a new deal with the Newcastle Knights. Harrigan winds up. It's the halfway line. Plays it just 1 metre short of that mark. Matthew Johns probing, looking for that early game. So far, the Gold Coast Chargers have contained the Newcastle Knights. Andrew Johns with plenty of time places that kick well, splitting Andrew King and David Miles. The chase from Newcastle was a good one. Owen Craigie leading the charge. Season 1998, Newcastle. 479 points they've scored compared to the Gold Coast 249. Jamie Goddard gives very good service from the acting half position. Nobody in the game makes more tackles than the number 9 for the Gold Coast as he's tackled himself. Harrigan comes in to help out. Jamie Goddard, 623 tackles for the year so far. Back it goes. Corbin again with a kick. But Dearest, well, you can't fault his positional play so far.
No, he's been in perfect position so far. The wind behind the coast is helping them at the moment. They're struggling with their yards in their sets of 6, but they've had some great kicks from Thorburn so far.
Evan Cochran combining with Craigie out wide. Cochran coming into this Newcastle side late with Brett Grogan pulling out. Cochran will play on the left wing. Peter Shields, the tallest second rowers going around in the competition. He's formed a very good back row partnership with Neil Pinchinelli. Andrew Johns runs to the line, and Andrew King stood his ground, took him well. Final tackle for the Newcastle Knights. They're just 5 metres out now. Matthew Johns jabs it in behind the line. Will the ball go dead? Yes, it will. Thought Andrew Johns was odds on to score.
That was great awareness there from Andrew King. He knew he had a bit of time here. Just let that ball roll over. He knew that there weren't any Newcastle players coming through, and probably something that we're not used to. Usually on those grubber kicks from Matthew Johns it was that time. They have plenty of guys flying through. Would have been just enough pressure to make Andrew King push that one over the dead ball lining, and the dropout would have preceded it.
And Justin, to add further merit to that good work by Andrew King, he also came up with the try-saving tackle on Andrew Johns.
I think he's a very underrated fullback, Andrew King. But the Knights have started really well here. Their confidence has been down over the last couple of weeks, but plenty of enthusiasm out there for this first half.
Definitely so. Newcastle Knights coming into this game with 2 losses from the last 2 weeks. It's Chris Curry just flinging that ball back on the inside.
He just got himself into a position where there was no win, was there? He was going to go into touch and had to take the odds to it.
Steady, fellas.
Pass went forward.
No, not ready. Not ready. Come on, wait till I'm
Andrew
ready,
Johns. He's played in all 21 games for the Newcastle Knights so far this season. Andrew Johns scoring some 5 tries. Delivers it to his brother in Matthew. Now Matthew Gidley. Gidley has been superb. 12 tries for the year. Billy Peterson. There are workers in this Newcastle Knights pack. Johns picks up Pinchinelli. Andrew Johns throws the dummy. Thorburn read it well, and the knock-on comes. It was only a small one, but it counts the same from Butterfield. Tough pass though, Jason.
It was a tough pass. I thought that was actually a knock on there first from the Gold Coast from Jamie Goddard, but they'll be happy to be let off the hook, and it will be their scrum food.
Steady, hold, just go in and easy.
Justin Morgan, so important for the Gold Coast Chargers to be able to score first, or at least control the tempo in this opening 20, and they've bombed a chance to do that, Justin.
They certainly have. If they're going to get anywhere near this Newcastle team this afternoon, they're going to have to take their opportunities and not make silly mistakes like that one there.
It's a good hit, Brendan Lindsay. And there he is. He doesn't play in very long bursts, but they're quite effective, aren't they? After 9 minutes, Paul Harrigan blowing as you would expect.
They're important when he's out there, and the field position that Newcastle have at the moment is due to what Paul Harrigan does when he's out there.
Andrew Johns goes himself from the scrum, looking to link up with the outside men. Maybe he won't need them. Moody for the corner, and he gets across for the first one. Maybe the first of many. But Jason Moody scored it, but put it down to the work back on the inside of Andrew Johns. He simply mesmerised them.
Great play from Andrew Johns. He made that earlier break. It was unlucky that Andrew King stopped him. This time he just came running across the field. There were plenty of runners going inside him, which is holding up the inside defence. Turned Jason Hudson around in the end, and Moody was good enough to get there.
Well, Chris Curry was the man who really raced out of the defensive line here. He left half a gap, and that's all this man needs.
Yeah, he probably was trying to chop him off, but once you make that decision to get out there, then you've got to come up with the tackle. If you don't, you're going to put extreme pressure on the rest of your defensive line. You see him showing the ball there. That's the key. The dummies inside were holding the inside defenders up. Once he got to the final man, sent the ball to Moody, trying the corner. They don't come any harder than this goal kick, though.
Moody, his 9th try for the year. It's been one of the finds, don't forget, Darren Albert for the Newcastle Knights. Still on the sidelines, he came back for just the one game. Albert out injured again. Certainly with the likes of Moody, Rogan, Evan Cochran, you're back up in virtually every department, the Newcastle Knights. This is a very tough one, this one. Andrew Johns kicking at 68% for the year so far. A very stiff breeze. We'll start this one way right. He has. It's coming back, just waved away. So the scoreline at Marathon remains 4 points to 0.
As you can see, Andrew Johns going across the field, carrying the ball with both hands there, putting the Gold Coast defence in two minds, and a good try to Moody in the corner.
Finished it off well, did Jason Moody. Now the Gold Coast, they've got to try and get back into this game as quickly as they can. It came from one of their errors, that opening try by Newcastle. Butterfield charges up into the defensive line, bounces off the shoulder there of Brendan Lindsay. Billy Peden sneaks past that tackle of Scotty Sattler. The decoy run by Johns. Peter Shields, a nice ball there for Owen Craigie. Originally from Inverell, Craigie has been a spectacular success with the Newcastle Knights. Goes for Andrew Johns. Trying to keep those kicks low into this very stiff breeze.
This is the area of the game that the Gold Coast really have to compete, especially in this first half while they've got this breeze at their back. They just have to control the ball and play the sets like that one Newcastle just played. Go forward well, get a good kick on the end of it, and they'll have the Knights working off their line more often than they have been so far. Exactly where the Gold Coast want them to be.
Danny McAllister just short of the halfway line now for Sattler. Inside ball back on the inside for Scott Conley up against his old club. Newcastle Knight himself. Corbin puts it high and well positioned. Buderis. And the crowd here realises that he's playing in an unfamiliar position. And they are very appreciative of his efforts. Gidley goes forward, picks up another 5 metres. Newcastle have dominated possession so far. Evan Cochran. Johns to the advantage line for Moody. Scored the only try of this game so far. Matthew. Back on the inside. Counter. He's into the clear. It's Peden. The longer ball for Cochran. Cochran back on the inside for Craigie. He skips out of one. Eventually Andrew King takes him. To the right they go. Stretch them quickly. Off the ledge. The Gold Coast survive another challenge.
Jerry, it was Glenn Grief that caught us all by surprise with a great ball. His hands were about an inch off the ground. When he got it away, he got the pass away. We see the break here. Here's Grief. Watch this. That's a beautiful ball. Lee Jackson it is running onto it. The Coast did well to hang on again.
Did back on the inside, and Craigie was the man. Reef, who was in the original starting 13, and then dropping back to the bench with Paul Harrigan. Said, I'm okay to start the game. Auburn with the kick. And he finds touch. And at least that will settle things down for the Gold Coast to touch.
It was a nice kick. That's what they've got to be working for, the Coast. They've got to slow this game down at times, get themselves in control, because every set of 6 they've got to be on their game. We know how talented this Newcastle side are in attack. I'm sure Phil Economides is talking about the fact that he was happy with that set of 6. Get those kicks into the corners, make the Knights work from their own line. While they're doing that, they're not scoring tries.
Jackson backs down. As we go, this is Moody, who's come off the right wing to do some work.
The replacement player for Newcastle is 15, David Lomax.
Back now for Gidley. Gidley taking the ground, 25 out from his own line. Peter Shields picks up a very good 10 metres. Glenn Grief doing a good job with Paul Harrigan on the sidelines. 7 missed tackles so far to the Gold Coast. Far too many. Chance there for David Lomax. Lomax struggles to his feet. Final tackles. Won't play the ball. Andrew Johns. High ball. Tracing through hard. Pinchinelli. Pinchinelli gets Andrew King.
He's done everything right so far, Andrew King, hasn't he? Most of the players been in the Gold Coast end. There's been a few grubbers and a couple of bombs. He's done everything perfect.
Replacement for the Chargers and
That's Craig Teven, now on the park, playing in his 100th game. First grade game, that is. He's been through a few clubs. Brisbane, Cronulla, the Crushers, and now the Gold Coast. Butterfield comes over the top. Final tackle. Thorburn gets the kick in once again. Medeiros in good position. Has Moody in support if he needs it. Takes the tackle himself. Sattler over the top. Started the weekend in equal 3rd position. The Newcastle Knights, as we see a penalty, and they'll get a nice piggyback.
That's too long. Come on.
And the 2 teams in front of them, Jason, have both had victories, so this is a very important game.
It is an important game. Also, as we mentioned before the game, the importance of coming into the semi-finals with good form, and having lost their last 2 games, it certainly hasn't been good form for them over the last 2 weeks, and they'll really want to turn that around in the remaining games of the conference.
Harrigan, hard and straight. Brings it back quickly for Andrew Johns. Bumps away 1 from 1, can't get away. The tackle there of Teven. Matthew picks up David Lomax. Jackson, Pinchinelli, again Harrigan, that offload. But Suited so often for Gidley. Matthew Gidley, light on his feet. And slips a very good ball for Medeiros. So Medeiros is cutting up there like a good fullback. They go to the right-hand side. Gidley, Murdy has 1 try, looking for number 2. Final tackle. Johns, crossfield kick. They've got numbers. What about the take? It's a spectacular one. Craigie gets across on the first bounce. Great hands.
That's just sheer class from Craigie. That was just a half volley pickup. But it was probably harder than a half volley. A half volley is probably easy to take. That ball had time to do anything. From this bounce, he was coming at 100 miles an hour. Right into the stomach and went. Johns' kick was good because he kept it flat. He didn't give the Coast wingers fullback time to get across to it. There it was. The winger was there, but he was trying to judge that the ball was going to bounce wider than it did. Craigie just ran straight onto it. It was just like a short pass. Straight through the gap.
I'll go on record now and say that was a set piece. They've been talking about that. They study the conditions before the game. Both Andrew and Matthew Johns were out here before the President's Cup game. The Newcastle Knights, they were aware the kick was coming. Flat and across field, they had numbers to burn.
I'm sure there's no doubt that the low flat kick was something that they knew was going to come. The coasts were jammed up, so there was space out there, but you can't practice enough that sort of pickup on a bounce like that, and Owen Craigie just did it perfectly.
Certainly did. Owen Craigie. 14th try for the year. Andrew Johns. Again, all kicks on a day like today so tough. Strikes this one nicely. It's waved away though. The scoreline. He's not happy with it. 8 points to 0. The Newcastle Knights lead.
It's the first try of the afternoon from a kick. I think as the afternoon wears on, we're going to see a few more tries from kicks. But that's just pure skill. Great class there from Craigie to pick up that ball.
You're right, Justin, and it's no fluke, is it? Because we see it from Owen Craigie so often.
The kid's got that much skill and ability, you know, it's scary at times, and to be able to do things like that on the field, it's very lucky for the Knights to have a player like that in their side.
Very scary for the opposing team, no doubt about it, particularly building up to the final series. And a little knock on there from Moody. He gets to his feet. He scored the opening try. Owen Craigie scoring the second one.
Yeah, well, there was a Gold Coast arm in there that rolled it out, but it's a tough one to rule on, and we see so many of them, Terry. It's that they change the complexion of games. It can go either way, those calls.
Chance for the Gold Coast Chargers to attack now. Bruce Curry taking the ground. Nahi wraps around on the right-hand side. Goes forward, no doubt about it. That was a touch high from Paul Harrigan. I'm not saying there was anything in it. In fact, I don't think there was too much in it at all. It was high.
You know, it's a penalty. It's been a penalty all year. No doubt it's high, as you say, but I think a penalty's enough for that one.
So Harrigan. They'll play on the Gold Coast. They're aiming for a try. Clinton O'Brien. Searching for his first try of the season. Driscoll. Sign a new deal with the Manly Club. Teven at acting half. Where's Pat? This is where he's dangerous. Curry flings it back. Should be 6 to go. It is exactly that. Another good chance for the Gold Coast. Nahi the decoy. Teven looking for better support than that. Pat again. One out play by the Gold Coast. Corbin turns it over, and it's gone forward. They just have not been able to put anything together.
Well, that set of 6 didn't look too good, but this ball here from Thorburn, that had found Chris King's chest. He was through. A little bit disjointed though, that set of 6 from the coast. This is where they want to be. See the handling errors there, they've made a few extra. This is where they want to be, but they have to make more of their opportunities than that. They don't have to do anything too fancy, but at least play it out and put the bombs up, which is what we've seen Newcastle do so far.
You're a chance then, aren't you? David Lomax. Another John, of course. Glenn Grief. Before is a very good job in the absence of Paul Harrigan. Flicked out the back. A great ball there from Peter Shields. Jackson plays it back. Lomax again. Played in 7 games for the Newcastle Knights. Final tackle. Kicked by Andrew Johns. Andrew King. Pops a shoulder from Gidley. 23 minutes gone. It's a nice piggyback, a nice one all teams enjoy. Wes Patton has gone off quickly, as only he can. Has a man in support. Hudson has speed, the cover was up to the mark. Moody came at him, put him down. Now they're in Newcastle Knights territory. Lomax with a pretty good hit. Goddard got it out the back. Thorburn can't get rid of it. Moody doing a good job in defence. O'Brien. Patton. Picks up Scotty Sattler. Sattler stepping off the left boot. And the ball goes astray again. And they'll shift it wide. Owen Craigie. Back to Evan Cochrane. Johns again, Matthew Johns on this occasion. Cochrane, I think there was a little knock on there. Cochrane, play on as the call. Gidley. And with an offload goes to ground. Not about to die wondering, are they? 6 to go. Patton knocks it back. And referee Matt Hewitt says he's trying too hard.
Well, it's an offside penalty. There's Patton knocking that one back. And Jamie Goddard, he's called Jamie Goddard offside. He wasn't at marker and he wasn't in the defensive line. So a tough one for the Coast, but probably a fair call. Gee, Wes Patton adds a spark, doesn't he? He took that quick tap and that set of 6 from that just looked like they had so much more to offer. A good break by Sattler. He came undone again, but that's what they're going to be looking to do.
Lee Jackson. Jackson goes straight through Andrew King. Another try-saving tackle. Check today is Andrew King. Gidley. Long ball for Matthew Johns. Nice ball. High tackle by Sattler. He's had a couple of warning letters already this season. Referee Matt Hewitt wants the play continue. Driscoll holds him up. So play the ball. Andrew Johns runs himself. Goddard made the tackle. Handover takes place. Referee Matt Hewitt's going to call. It's going to be Scott Sattler out here just for regulation.
That's it. I'm wondering if you've been free, Scott. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
He's calling him out for that one there that we're seeing now. How can he let the whole set of 6 go on and then give a penalty?
He played the advantage and then he's deemed that there was no advantage taken by the Newcastle Knights.
You get 9 tackles advantage. They got 3 more tackles after that one.
It's a good advantage, isn't it?
And then another 6 now. Well, 2 points.
Johns would be lining this kick up. 3-2 the penalty count favouring Newcastle. Missed tackles too many for the Gold Coast. 9-6. The Gold Coast have been doing a lot of defending. Over 100 tackles so far. As you would imagine, that means Newcastle have been doing the majority of the hitting up in attack. So Johns has been unsuccessful with both attempts so far. It's a very tough day for goal kickers. He hits the upright on this occasion. And the Gold Coast, maybe a touch of justice for the Gold Coast Chargers.
Well, there's no doubt that the tackle was high, but once that tackle is completed, as far as I can see, that's when the penalty comes. 2 or 3 tackles later. Andrew Johns won't be happy with his goal kicking, but extremely tough out there kicking into that southerly breeze.
He's the sort of goal kicker, Jason, who's either red hot or lukewarm. Patton delivers a nice ball to Scott Sattler. Likes to offload, but once again, the Gold Coast Chargers self-destructing, trying to force the pass, just 1 too many. Jackson was very flat in that pass from acting half. Shields to the line, Lomax. Lomax a good offload for Jackson. Jackson for Craigie. This is a player who can take off from a standing start. Buderis sets it up for Cochrane. The Gold Coast, they fell asleep on the blind side. The Newcastle Knights responded. 12 points to 0.
Smart work from Danny Buderis. He was in a dummy half. He saw if he beat that marker that he only had 1 player to contend with on the blind side. He knew Evan Cochrane would be there and laid it on perfectly for him. Nicola was at marker, who probably did go to sleep. Left his winger on his own. Evan Cochrane didn't get too many more signatures than that one. David Miles had 2 to contend with. He'll take the man with the ball.
Dearest also doing a good job there, just to remind Coach Mal really that while he might be playing fullback today, he still wants to be in the hooking position come the finals, getting there to acting half, and very good thinking, smart one.
You go back to the mistake from the coast, which gave the Knights the ball. They were let off the hook with Johns missing that penalty, bouncing off the post. Then the pass that was thrown, it's not as though it was going to be a big break if the pass came off. That's the thing about it. The player probably was going to receive the ball and make a couple of more metres. It's not worth the risk at that stage of the field.
Thinks his other kicks have been tough. What about this one? Straight into the teeth of the breeze. Strikes it. It's wide again, waved away. The scoreline, 12 points to 0. It could be far worse.
Danny Badeiros here, great skill, great awareness to scoop down the blind side, offload to the winger. Very good player, Badeiros. The Knights have got a big rap on him, and I think he's going to be some of the Knights soon.
Bonus there, Justin, of course he can play in so many positions, can't he?
Certainly can, fullback, hooker. I think he's originally a 5'8" or a halfback.
Yeah, he's a 5'8" by trade. Badeiros was another player this season who has certainly stepped up for the Newcastle Knights. Their dramas and troubles on and off the field have been well documented. The Chief. This is the sight that every red-blooded Newcastle Knights fans has been waiting for over the past 2 months. And beloved skipper back in the jersey, hitting it up. Inchinelli. Hunter Mariner. So a stealer. Shields off the bootlaces. Andrew Johns. Evan Cochrane. Looking to get around Miles, can't do so. And just heard that come off.
Wes Patton had a hand in there. It'll be a call from the touch judge, Newcastle, Gold Coast field.
The Gold Coast. There's Cochrane, flings it back on the inside. Well, Patton appeared to get a hand there along with Andrew Jones.
The touch judge had a good view of it. Let's say that he would have got it right, Terry.
He did have a good view of it. Nickel. The Gold Coast 3 seasons ago. Nickel. Scott Sutton. For his 4th club, Penrith Panthers. Oh, the shoulder charge. Didn't find its mark exactly. Pat. Nahi. That one hit Andrew Johns. The little halfback on the back row. You'll love that. Come later tonight, that'll be one of the best hits of the year. High ball. Some troubles for Badeiros. What about that? Took it superbly.
That's an absolutely great take. That's a great take from a fullback who's been playing there for 10 seasons, not a guy who's in his first grade match at fullback.
There's Gidley trying to get a quick play the ball. Evan Cochrane. Some good go forward there, coming off the left wing. And heavily involved this man, Peter Shields. Jackson. Nice delivery. Andrew Johns, who has been given plenty of time to get well-placed kicks away.
You can see how the effect that breeze is having on not only Andrew Johns' goal kicking, but his downfield kicking. He isn't getting the distance that we've become accustomed to him getting. But the fact is that Newcastle are making such good yards out of their own half that the kick doesn't need to be a long one. The Coast can just toughen their defence up a bit and make him have to kick from a tougher position, and they'll get some good field position themselves.
Damien Driscoll, 26-year-old, plays it back for Wes Patton. Patton, a little trip. He was held back a touch. Referee Matt Hewitt says, play on. A little bit of a jersey grab, I thought. Well, there's no doubt about it. Should have been a penalty to the Gold Coast. Saying there was too much in it. 76 to 59 the hit-ups.
Number 12 for Newcastle.
Matthew Johns back on the inside for Paul Harrigan.
Figures sponsored by Charlestown Cellars.
Local product from Lakes United, Harrington. Great to see him back.
back.
Lomax. I think Phil Economides and the Gold Coast Chargers share my sentiments. Andrew Johns, he'll get the bounce here. Kicks again. Bidley's chasing through. Miles goes back to kick. 1 yard too big.
Super play from Andrew Johns. Just put that one over. It held up in the breeze nicely. He slowed up and allowed it to bounce for him. There it was. He just hung up there in the breeze. Set up, and that's a good option because he probably wasn't going to be able to pass it. It only went a couple of rolls too far. Otherwise, it would have been perfect.
Good offload. Nickel. One of the attacking weapons for the Gold Coast over the past 2 seasons is Nickel. Breaks even. The Crushers skipper. In the ground just short of the halfway line. Damien Driscoll. Manly bound. Where's Patton? Stepping. Passes. Tackle wasn't effective. Goddard. Offloads over the top. Andrew King. Gets away from one tackle. Here's their attacking weapon, Patton. Lindsay. Fake for the big kick. The little kick. Cochrane. Covered it well. Well, they're trying things, Jason. You can't knock that.
They do, Terry. They continue to try things for the whole 80 minutes, and while it doesn't go their way for a majority of the game, especially when we played last week, in a few patches of the game where things start to go their way, they score some great tries, and they really put you under pressure because if they think there's a pass on, they'll throw it.
O'Doherty. Johns working on that short side. It's dangerous everywhere. Final tackle now. The kicking duties will go to Matthew. So Matthew puts the kick high. It's come back in their face. Scott Sattler takes it, and Matthew Johns was there. Holding down a touch. Tough one.
It's an interesting one. Terry, the bomb goes up. Sattler takes it cleanly. Now, is he penalising for tackling while he's in the air? I think he is.
Yes. Very close to having that one left foot back on the ground, Justin Morgan.
It certainly was. Let's give a wrap to the Newcastle Knights forwards. They're going forward really well, especially into this tough breeze, giving the opportunity to the Johns brothers to express their kicking game.
Active carry Newcastle Knights to the ARL Premiership last season. O'Brien back on the inside for Patton. He'll take off from a standing start. Gives it. McAllister. 2 tackles left to attack. Breaks even. Probably in the twilight of his career. Final tackle. Lindsay. Brendan Lindsay gets away. They're going to run it. Nahi. Will he go to the boot? Chance for Miles. Miles kicks. They'll score. No, the corner post. Where'd it come from?
For Newcastle, number 12, Peter Shields. Peter sponsored by
Great play here, Jason.
It was well played down that far right-hand side. Chris Nahi did it well. Put Miles into the clear, and the kick just rolled towards the corner post. It took a right-hand turn without an indicator. The disappointment shown there on the Coast players' faces.
Butterfield. Nice ball. Quick hands. Matthew Gidley. Will this be 6 to go? No, just play on. Banderas again with a great offload. Sean Rudder has it now. Number 14 for the Newcastle Knights. Peter Shields. It goes O'Doherty. Flings it out the back. Johns. Gidley. Too much pace for Sattler. Sattler came again. Moody for Andrew Johns. Andrew Johns. The kick way too big off the left boot. And the crowd, they think the player was held back in back play.
The touch judges come in, Terry. Jason Hudson
Number 2, the Gold Coast.
Was who held Jason Moody off the ball. It was before that replay we see there of Andrew Johnson putting that kick on the left foot. Gidley had run towards the right-hand touchline and threw it back inside to Moody. Jason Hudson had hold of him before he even caught the ball. And he's given him 10 minutes. I've got to say it was a penalty. It was a penalty.
Well, that is tough.
Yeah, here it is here. See Gidley going towards the line. He got the pass back inside and Moody was held before he got the ball, but that's not a sin-binning offence as far as I'm concerned.
Well, Newcastle Knights, it's not as if they need too much help. They lead by 12 points to 0. Johns, he takes off. Matthew Johns. Oh, the ball was a beauty. Sean Rudder it was who grasped it. It'll be a Gold Coast Chargers feed. Oh.
Sometimes these passes come from positions where the player receiving it just doesn't expect it to come. It shocks him as much as us.
Justin Morgan, I guess, with the Johns brothers, both Matthew and Andrew, you have to expect the unexpected.
We certainly do, and a lot of the forwards are doing a lot of offloading today. In these windy conditions, I think the Johns boys have decided to throw their long pass out the window and concentrate on little short balls around the ruck.
These very difficult conditions. The ground in remarkably good order. The Gold Coast Chargers, they're down to just 12 men. O'Brien. Driven back in that tackle by Glenn Grief. Inside the final 5 seconds of this opening half, Phil Economides. I'd be too happy with that final decision by the referee. They'll probably try something here. Lindsay, the little short jab kick. John says, I've had enough for the opening 40 minutes. They've scored 3 tries, the Newcastle Knights. They lead by 12 points to 0. We'll take a break.
So
the Coast with it all ahead of them at the moment.
Corbin, see the strength of that breeze. Back in their face. Dearest plays it back, picks up Butterfield. Racing out quickly to make that tackle, Scott Conley. Jackson takes off, a loose ball. Not exactly the perfect start to the second half. Let's go sideline now and Justin Morgan.
With me, I've Steve Lane from the Newcastle Knights. Steve, a fairly impressive first half from you guys.
Yeah, Justin, Malcolm's very happy. The defence was spot on, the kicking game was good, and the kick chase was even better, especially into that breeze.
Yeah, with the breeze behind your back in the second half, you'd be certainly trying to get some plenty of ball to the Johns brothers to kick the ball down to the opposition half.
Yeah, that's Malcolm's. That was the key. Make sure we get a fair share of the pill and we play the game down the opposition's quarter.
Okay, thanks very much, Steve. Back to you, Terry.
That's Justin Morgan and also Steve Renner. Ball back on the inside for Conley, up against his old club. Goddard waits patiently. This man is Danny McAllister. They're just 20 metres away from the try line. They're yet to cross. Nice short ball there for Sattler. Out the back, Lindsay taking the ground. Final tackle now for the Gold Coast. Thorburn, high ball, coming backwards now. Lands in the arms of Curry. Out the back for Goddard. Goddard for the corner. Gets up, goes again, reaches out, no try. Just short. It was a good effort though.
It was a great effort from Jamie Goddard. Thorburn put this kick up, and a couple of the Newcastle players, you see them there with their hands covering their eyes. They didn't know where it was. This is a great offload, and he's not slow, Jamie Goddard. Pinned his ears back and went for the corner. Gidley got him. He got out of that tackle. It was Matthew Johns coined him up in the end.
I'll tell you, he's not slow, but he'd like to be 1 metre quicker. What are we all? Matthew Johns. Andrew Johns plays that back. Andrew Johns now for Butterfield. Taken in a great tackle there by Nickel. Cochrane. Harrigan. Looking for the offload. And his comeback match. Badiris. Final tackle once again. Andrew Johns may well kick to the right-hand side here. Huge kick. The Breeze has got that. It's gone 300 miles all the way back to Sydney. Let's go sideline now with Justin Morgan.
We have Tony Peace from the Gold Coast Chargers. Tony, you guys really didn't use the wind in the first half to your advantage.
Yeah, Phil was very disappointed that they didn't take advantage of the wind, and we should have been the one with the 12-point lead. He's also disappointed in the defence. The players weren't moving up. They were watching the Johns brothers run sideways and going with them, so he wants them to move up and cut them off, cut down their options.
You guys certainly aren't out of the game, only 12 points behind on the scoreboard. What has Phil pointed out at half-time that's going to get you guys back in the game?
He wants the forwards to work a little bit harder, work together in twos, and just control the ball better and watch the kicking.
Thanks for spending some time with us, Tony. Back to you, Terry.
Very much Justin and Tony Peace there from the Gold Coast Chargers. Sometimes, Mason Taylor, you played in that, once again, a very stiff breeze at North Sydney Oval yesterday. Dearest offloads for Cochrane. Cochrane taking that tackle. Sometimes teams do wait back and wait for the breeze to do it for them.
It's a trap you can fall into, Terry. You think the breeze is going to score tries for you, but you can't get to the other end of the field without the ball. And Newcastle did it well in the first half. They made the yards with their go forward, and then they didn't have to kick the ball so far as Alan Craigie.
This is a good go forward by Craigie, steamrolling his way to within 25 metres. The sun comes out at Marathon. Johns, Gidley, they've gone without it again. Jason Moody really looked a big hope of taking that ball. The pass had touched too hard. But the Craigie bust was a beauty.
Andrew Johns, him with the long ball. He did it on his own, really. He pushed away from Nickel. There's plenty of defenders around there. And he got into the space. Jamie Goddard, you don't see him miss many. And King again was the man who finally made the tackle.
Butterfield in the blood bin. In fact, he's back on. Don't forget, the Gold Coast Chargers, they're still playing with 12 men for, I'd say, the opening 7 minutes or 8 minutes of this second half. So if they can hold them out, that would be a major bonus.
Hang on, fellas, don't it?
Wes Patton, who when he came on in the second half, created havoc.
No, Wade?
He's bloody flared as Wes. Damien Driscoll. Just 10 metres short of the halfway line. His fellow prop now, Danny McAllister, tries to spin out of that tackle from Harrigan. Harrigan working very hard. He's been on the park. Andrew King, good step. They go to the left. Thorburn back on the inside from Lindsay to Goddard. Nahi. That ball went nowhere. Flicked from the back from Conley. Nickel has it, but he was going nowhere also. A little kick for the sideline, just bounces in.
As we mentioned before, Terry, you look at that set of 6 from the coast and it really didn't amount to much. A couple of those passes that went to ground there, they go to hand. A couple of those half breaks that they made, they get through, and they're a different side, and they really can put it together at times. It's just these patches that they have where they go from side to side, not really doing much. Puts them under pressure.
The Newcastle Knights have been winless for some 2 weeks now. Just 2 weeks before the final series begins. In third position. Will probably remain in third position unless they rack up a huge score here against the Gold Coast Chargers. It's 12-0 at the moment. Through the hands it comes. Shields. Long ball! I mentioned he was one of the tallest players in the competition. Evan Cochrane is not, but he'd like to be. He would have taken that ball.
Terry, it's easy up from up here, but I'm telling you now, if he dummied there, Peter Shields, he was straight through. Everybody expected him to pass it, and he did. Just a little bit high for Evan Cochran.
Let's go. Hang on.
Harrigan, the unfamiliar jumper of number 19.
These are the opportunities that the Coast has got to make something of. Good field position, just control the set out, and then test the Newcastle defence with a bomb or a grubber at the end.
Nahi. Back to the middle. Brendan Lindsay wants to quick play the ball. He doesn't get it. Thorburn. And is McAllister. There's Jason Hudson. So now we've got 13 against 13 again. The offload. Goddard trying to get through some traffic. Hudson will race straight into the back line here. Thorburn. Lindsay. There's Hudson. From the tunnel and 5 metres away from the try line. Final tackle. They're calling for the big crossfield kick. They go to the left-hand side. Well, it was snatched from their grasp.
Yeah, that was a great kick from Jason Moody. It was a good little grubber from Jamie Goddard. He got out of dummy half and put it through. Oh. Sattler, I think it was about to dive on it for a 4-pointer.
Shields stepping back to Matthew Johns. Looks at his options. Finds Cochran. Cochran to Gidley. Gidley taking the ground. Starting to string some passes together. Sloppy play by Newcastle. Play on, says Hewitt. Justin Morgan, that's something you don't expect from the Premiers.
Exactly right. I think the set before that one, the Coast put a good set together. Didn't get a result from the kick, but it was much better. Here's the play the ball. There's no dummy half. That's good awareness by the 15 from the Gold Coast, though.
Clinton O'Brien doing a good job on that occasion. There he goes again, O'Brien. Thorburn, Sattler. For the centre, looking to step off the right boot. Just the one try for the season. Thorburn goes through the grasp. 6 to go. Now this is a golden chance for the Gold Coast. No need to panic. Goddard. O'Brien straightens the attack. Burnford. Offload. Curry, knock on Moody. He was away though if he took it. Once again forcing the pass.
Well, this is probably the place to force it, Terry. You're 5 metres out from the opposition's line. You're going to make a mistake. This is where to do it. And 6 more tackles for the Coast is going to ensue.
Harrigan on the bench, but there's further concern for the Newcastle Knights just at the scrum base with Andrew Johns. He's cramped up or he's clutching at the back of his right hamstring. You can see he's got a look of concern on his face, and that's why. King dummy, pushes off Craigie. Miles gets over for the Gold Coast. They score the first try of the second half. 12 points to 4 now. Gold Coast Chargers making a game of it.
It's amazing, isn't it, Terry? We've talked about this wind in the first half, and the Coast now running into it. It's been the majority of this second half in Newcastle's territory, and they got a great result from it here. Miles crashes over. From the scrum, they just moved it wide. It was a good run from Andrew King. He's been their best player without a doubt. Scoreline 12 before this try. Majority due to the efforts that he put in the first half. Held the pass up. It was a great run from Miles coming back at that angle.
So Jason Deagle went back on the inside, gave Andrew King an option there. Owen Craigie hung on, but Miles had a head of steam up. His 3rd try for the season. His 3rd of his career, which is just some 14 games old. Graham Mackay is the regular kicker for the Gold Coast Chargers. It's not Thorburn. 50% record. It swings back, and over it goes. 12 points to 6. They're within a converted try.
Newcastle impulse time 12, the Gold Coast Chargers 6 here at
Very
Marathon
simple
Stadium.
play there, just King dummying on the inside, holding up the inside runners, offloading. It's very simple stuff. That's what the Coast need to do.
Yeah, Justin, I guess what we're going to look for now, and also Jason, is the fact that they are within a converted try, the Newcastle Knights, and we'll all be looking for Newcastle to lift that gear.
Yeah, exactly right. But the Coast there, as they don't need to throw miracle passes like they tried to do in the first half. They scored a simple try there just by running some good decoys and some good angles.
Must now work it out of their own territory. McAllister upended on the far side of the park. Back they come. Back in that tackle. Butterfield goes over the top. Durnford. Got it. To deliver a nice ball back in. Corbin. They put good pressure on him. Kick over by Baderas, who slipped. Regathered his feet. He's been one of the best for Newcastle.
He's been great.
Oh, bad work by Newcastle. It's play on.
You're right, Baderas has been great, but this is what the Coast have been after. The whole first half, they had all the work to do from their own end.
Oh, Nickel. Big, powerful centre on his day. They can smell an upset here, the Gold Coast. Craig Teevan taken sideways, playing his 100th game. Corbin to the line, props, Lindsay, Chris Curry. Likes to throw the ball one-handed. Corbin again, short ball for Craig Teevan. Corbin himself out the back. Oh, Newcastle come up with it. He could see the white chalk. He fell just a metre short.
It was a good effort for Glenn Grief too to be the man to take that intercept. Corbin was probing and finally got half through. Andrew Johns around his leg. He got one away and Glenn Grief got in between there. They really look so much more controlled with the ball now as Newcastle received a penalty. And a quick tap from Lee Jackson.
So Jackson's off and running. Worked for Lee Patton in the first half. The offload to Evan Cochrane. Taken by Nickel. Important for the Gold Coast to try and hold out Newcastle in this set. Johns back for Pinchinelli. Pinchinelli the offload. Matthew Johns the beautiful long ball for Gidley. Gidley back for Moody. Moody taking the ground. He scored the first try of the game. Baderas delivers it to Matthew Johns. They mean business now. Andrew Johns taking the ground. Jackson. Matthew Johns again. Into Shields. Gives it to Corbin. Corbin's away. How much pace? Not enough. Neither David Miles or Amy got him. Up he gets. Keep going, son. They're 40 metres away. It's a long way to go. They must stretch them. Goddard can't get around a very good tackle by Glenn Grief. They've got to go left. They do. Lindsay. Curry back on the inside. They're going to go down. They're going to go down fighting the Gold Coast. O'Brien. Teevan. Looking for a hole back behind the markers. Durnford. Scott Sattler. Can he link up with Nickel? He read it well back on the inside. That was Pinchinelli. Final tackle. Corbin. Goddard, the little kick. What about the catch? It was Baderas. And the one-handed pick up by Pinchinelli.
Goddard again out of dummy half. Put that one in behind there. Baderas picked it up extremely well. He's got them for a knock-on, so Newcastle continue to turn it over. They're just keeping the Coast in the match, and the Coast, I was going to say before, Terry, they just look so much more in control of what they're doing. They're not rushing anything. They're playing at their sets of six. We see the knock-on there from Moody. They're getting to the kick. The rubber from the dummy half there wasn't the greatest result, but they're putting the pressure on.
He's taken a bump to the jaw there, Andrew Johns. Hopefully nothing serious will come from that. Certainly a bad time of year to have that sort of injury. Lindsay. Dummies, Andrew King. First tackle. Driscoll. Good offload for Goddard. O'Brien. Back on the inside. I thought they had numbers on the left.
Replacements for the Chargers in 19, Chris Murphy.
Burn calling the shots. Goddard. O'Brien. Loose ball. Conley has it. Spins out of one. Goddard again. He's been dangerous today. Slips a beauty. Nahi goes over. I think that's chalk. We'll go to the video referee. Will the Gold Coast get back with their second?
Before we see the replay, I thought he bounced onto the line. He bounced once, but the momentum sort of carried him onto the line. Evan Cochran had him there. Bounces short.
Well, it's a try. He didn't promote the ball. Momentum, and the tacklers appear to have taken Nahi over. He didn't bounce far, he bounced enough though. Have a look at this, the arm carrying the ball, hits the chalk, and maybe he did promote himself a touch.
It's hard to say, when he comes down from that height, he's probably going to bounce.
Himself, yeah.
He's going to bounce. So it's up to the video referee whether he decides that.
Great work from Goddard.
He's been great in the last 15 or 20.
He bounces all right.
Try.
That right arm, he gives it a bit of a heave-ho as you would, and he gets the ball on the chalk. There's no doubt about that. The decision by the referee here must be, did he promote it or did momentum take him across? It's a green light. The Gold Coast have struck back. Try number 2. Chris Nahi, the man who scores it. They are to within 2 points of Newcastle.
Jamie Goddard, it was, did all the work. Dummy, he spun in the tackle and then got a great ball away. Evan Cochran tried in vain to hold Nahi up, but he just bounced onto that line.
Oh, Justin Morgan, Jason Taylor didn't need the video referee. What about yourself? What did you think?
No, I thought it was a try. The video referees made the right decision. The roles seem to have reversed here in the second half.
Yeah, exactly.
The Coast playing very well. Jamie Goddard's been very creative around the dummy half area.
He's a class player, as he showed in Origin number 3 of this season. This kick has got Thorburn a chance to tie up the ball game at Marathon. Don't forget, it's equal first position up against 19th. Or equal 20th.
Struck the one a minute ago from a similar position perfectly.
I say the Breeze may have dropped off, but I've just had a look at the flags and it hasn't. He strikes this one. He has struck it well. We've got a tied-up ball game at Marathon. Who would have thought? 12 points all.
Terry, that is a tough kick and a great conversion.
As I said, Jamie Goddard there carrying the ball with 2 hands, being very creative out of dummy half. Great offload here, and Chris Nahi's been very impressive and he deserves the try.
Nothing separates Newcastle and the Gold Coast Chargers, literally. The Newcastle Knights have scored 3 tries to 2. They scored their 3 tries in the opening half. The Gold Coast have struck back superbly. Very professional display in the opening 20 minutes of this second half, scoring 2 tries, and that right boot of Scott Thorburn has been superb.
We've said a lot about the win in this game, and the Coast in the first half probably made the mistake of thinking it would do it for them, but at half-time realised that they're now against it, so they're going to have to do the work themselves, and they have been. Having said that, the Knights have made a few uncharacteristic errors and given them opportunities.
And don't forget, Gold Coast Chargers also had a man in the sin bin for 10 minutes of this game. In that all 5 tries so far in this game have been scored against the Breeze. The Gold Coast haven't really given Newcastle Knights too many chances in attacking territory. This man is Paul Harrigan. Andrew Johns checks back into this game. Lomax. He's quite a good yard getter, isn't he, Justin Morgan?
Certainly is. Him and Greg have been outstanding this afternoon.
Matthew Gidley looking for the offload. Ducks under a high one from O'Brien. Final tackle, Johns straight into the attack. The high ball comes across. Miles stands his ground, takes it well. Back to the 20. He knew it was coming. The chase was good, Jason.
It was. This is where the wind was probably favouring the coast because it was pushing the ball towards David Miles and away from the chasers. Just had enough time to catch it before they arrived.
Cheryl Snelling to the nice merchandise shop, please.
Damien Driscoll. For Clinton O'Brien. There goes Teevan. Wade Teevan slicing through the Newcastle Knights. They're shell-shocked. Thorburn kicks. Vidaris isn't back there. Evan Cochran, well, he gets a pretty good bounce, but it was good thinking by Thorburn.
It was a good kick. He saw there was no one at home. It's important that they put in a good set of 6 in defence now. Newcastle that too easy.
Oh, Moody. A blockbusting run. Still going, Moody. That's exactly the run they were hoping for. Now they'll give away the penalty, Andrew King, but I'm not going to be too tough on him. I can tell. Well, you've got to get to your feet first, don't you?
Well, the rules at the moment, the referees are very strong on the fact that you must stand up with the ball in your hands before you play it. He tried to play that one while he's still laying on his stomach.
Butterfield and O'Brien. I know Clinton O'Brien, Justin, he's a prop forward who looks forward to the physical clashes.
Certainly does, and he's got a clash on his hands with Butterfield and Harrigan this afternoon.
Johns, Shields, inside ball, the fleck ball for Andrew Johns. O'Doherty it was who got the ball back to Johns. They've got players in motion on the right-hand side. Inside ball for Gidley. Moody again. They hang on to the jumper. He slips out of one. And driven back. I tell you, there's been a good quality game. Gidley that was. 1 metre short. Final tackle. Johns. Nickel has it. Can't get out of his own territory. Now the big test comes for the Gold Coast.
It sure does. It was a big set of 6. They worked extremely hard. That was a nice left-footed kick into the end goal from Matthew Johns. Chasers were coming through, but there were a few desperation tackles in that set of 6. Had to be made from the coast. Jason Nickel, it is, was hurt in that tackle as he cleaned up that kick through. So to withstand it again is a big ask for the coast.
And this won't do their chances any harms. Nickel down injured after taking this kick.
Any alcohol or liquor, we thank you for your assistance.
He's slipping.
The responsible service of alcohol.
And they make the tackle.
Well, he may have got a knee to the back there, but
It's allowed the Gold Coast to suck in a few deep breaths.
Stay behind me. Stay behind me.
I'm not saying he did it on purpose, Jason Nickel, but I can tell you, did he do his side any harm? Butterfield. First tackle. Oh, Paul Harrigan with the blunder. Andrew King comes away. Can't get around Shields. Yes, he does. Andrew King's had a big game. Harrigan just going without that one. What have you made of his comeback so far, Justin Morgan? Paul Harrigan.
It's been very good. I think it's just getting a little bit tired there, fatiguing, because he hasn't played for most probably about 8 weeks, I think it is now. But he's been very heavily involved, and his impact's been very good when he's been on the field.
Driscoll. It's the halfway line. He's just short of it.
I wouldn't want to be the next bloke to run into him after he got that.
Looking for somebody to take it out on. Touch of frustration. There goes Teevan. He's dangerous from acting half. Lindsay. Maybe there's a chance here. Chris Curran taking the ground. 25 out. Final tackle. Well, they're all offside, the Newcastle Knights. Hewitt hasn't had a look at that. Maybe he has, and he's playing advantage. Teven. It's a changeover.
Well, there were opportunities there for the Coast to run the ball on the last, and they probably did have to explore them, but to not get the kick on the end of it was a bit of a sin. The Knights off the hook, and now they're out towards the halfway.
Andrew Jones, bad draw and all. Straight through. Hasn't affected his legs too much. Jared O'Doherty. It's only just the one match in first grade. Oh, good offload, Matthew Jones. Andrew Jones. He's such a great dummy. O'Doherty again. Backs into the defensive line. And they keep it alive. Pinchinelli.
He's got him for a forward pass, Terry.
He's gone forward. I can tell you this has been a brave performance by the Gold Coast Chargers. They were down by 12 points to 0, and here's the forward pass, Jackson. Oh, yep. Tell by the direction of their hands there, Jason.
Yeah, it looked like it went forward. The closer this game gets to full time, the harder it is to for Newcastle to score, because the Coast, they can see a great upset. Even if this game stays at 12-all, they'll be happy with their effort. So they should be. They're making some great tackles out there, really working hard in defence.
You know the point you're trying to make, Jason, and they can dine out on this victory for a while if they get a victory. It'll virtually make the last 2 weeks of the season all worthwhile in the last 4. Jason Hudson. Spent 10 minutes in the sin bin. McAllister. Goddard has been the person who has led the fight back for the Gold Coast. Lining up to take this forward. Scott Connolly. The Newcastle Knights, they're way inside the 10 again. They were warned by referee Hewitt. Vidaris, he played at that with the foot, but I think he missed it.
It's hard to tell. I thought it might have touched his upper body. There. It doesn't seem as though it did. Newcastle feet.
Justin Morgan is right there on the spot. What did you make of it?
I don't think he touched that one. The last 5 or 6 minutes, the Johns boys have tried to stand a little bit more authority on this game and take control and try and lift the Knights up a couple of gears.
Line breaks 11-6. Also doing a lot of defending. Moody, once again, he's done some damage on that right wing. Now we've got Wes Patton on the park. Patton makes another tackle. Peter Shields gets the ball away to Moody again. Jason Moody. Some metres every time he's touched the ball. Andrew Johns. Now they're starting to look like Newcastle of old. Pinchinelli looking for support. Craigie on the inside. Craigie reaches it. He puts it down nonchalantly, but it was a great try. He got through a lot of traffic. He got away from 3 and 4, and then he scored.
There's so much said about the 2 Johns brothers in this side, and there's no doubt about their talent, but Owen Craigie so often comes up with a big play for the Newcastle Knights. Pinchinelli did extremely well, but Owen Craigie has got 5 defenders around him there, and in the end he made it look like they hardly got a hand on him. Andrew Johns took off and threw a great pass here, which hit Pinchinelli on the chest. He found some space. When he finally gives it to Craigie, there's still plenty to do. Oh, came back off the left, then went off the right again. He turned Nahi inside out 4 times and made it look easy. And the good players do, Terry, they make it look very easy.
You mentioned that he had a lot of work to do. He had a mountain of work to do. Pinchinelli, the original break. He had 5 in front of him, Craigie. But it never seems to worry him, and I've seen him do it so often. He's a big bloke, but he seems to find his way through traffic with ease.
I think the fact that he is so big and strong and so elusive makes it so hard. It's one thing to get to him, and then once you do, you've got to get him down.
Andrew Johns. He didn't like the look of that. None from 4. He's been 321 successful kicks. He'd like this one because that would put them a converted try away. At the moment, they lead by 4. This one hooking back. Flags are up. 18 points to 12 at Marathon.
Nice, they've got plenty of players in their side that can create opportunities. Piscinelli's just one of them. Makes a break here. Offloads to Craig. He showed us in the first half the amount of skill that he's got. And look at this. He's had 5 defenders to beat. He's been absolutely outstanding, Owen Craigie, this afternoon.
He certainly has been, Justin. No doubt about it. Good work there by King Johns, who has a pair of the quickest hands around. Badiris.
The Harvey Norman man of the match is the man with the football at the moment, number 9 for Newcastle, Vinny Badiris.
Gidley. Been fairly well contained today. Pincinelli, who set up that try for Craigie. That's not taking anything away from Owen Craigie, who did a fair bit of the work himself. David Lomax, who likes to attack the ball. Andrew Johns thinks about the field goal. This is a cracker, but it misses. It took off from the boot.
Well, he's got that breeze behind him and he hit it perfectly, but it was obviously just offline. From our angle,
Still
from that camera angle, it looked like it was going through, but it's just gone to the right of the
I don't think it's come down yet. 18-12. That's Justin thinking about the field goal. They certainly are showing the Gold Coast Chargers plenty of respect.
They certainly are, and the Chargers have played really well in this second half, and most probably the score indicates how close the game is. There's only 1 try in it.
Patton looking to attack on the left. Finds his man in Hudson. Well taken though, Sean Rudder. Thorburn. That ball coming back in the field of play. Tried to come back. Stretch Martin Weeks though, jolly on the spot. Half a metre. We're inside the final 7 minutes. They're not out of the woods yet, the Newcastle Knights. Rudder out the back. Little knock on. This will give the Gold Coast a sniff. You see the frustration now. They have not played well over the past month or so, the Newcastle Knights.
Just the hand from Glenn Grief. He's calling that the ball went forward from Glenn Grief's hand. Andrew Johns did pick it up cleanly.
19 handling errors from the Newcastle Knights. Patton. Curry driven sideways. It was by Matthew Johns. This is Miles. David Miles. O'Brien. Grief was underneath. McAllister. No signs of panic yet by the Gold Coast. Now they'll go. Thorburn back on the inside for Sattler. Short ball for Wes Patton. I thought maybe it should be the other way around. Final tackle. Sattler. He'll kick. Can't get into the in goal.
They've been good in that area today, Newcastle. The Coast have put a few good grubbers in that would normally put you under pressure. There's the kick from Sattler. Evan Cochran just dropped back in behind there perfectly and cleaned it up.
Justin Morgan and Wes Patton tackled there on the 4th. You'd probably like to have him in play for the final tackle option.
Yeah, exactly. He's very good kicking game, and also very good running the ball on the last, and that's what they need with only 4 or 5 minutes left on the clock.
That ball could have gone anywhere. Inside the final 5 minutes now. This has been a nasty scare. Make no bounds about it. Through he goes. Matthew Johns looks at the option. And it goes eventually. Now it's the final tackle. Laderis. Andrew Johns' field goal attempt. He slots this one over. And now the Newcastle Knights are home. But they have survived the scare. 19 points to 12.
And the field goal for Newcastle, kick by number 7,
Matthew Johns he saw that the coast was struggling to get back on side. He just took the yards, finally got through the tackle, made the break. He was going to throw it outside, then at the last minute decided to throw it inside to Pinchinelli, who got a great pass back across to Owen Craig. Fell over at the death, and then Matthew Johns, there probably was a try on offer there, but put it straight over.
Well, this is some tragic news, hopefully nothing too serious, as Matthew Johns, after making that break, is taken from the ground. O'Brien, Conley upended by Glenn Grief. Patton, Shine can't get away from his man. Good chase there by Glenn Grief again. McAllister. Now 2 tackles left. Corbin. Patton. Slips it out the back. Right line and just... I've got to try absolutely everything now.
Well, they've been playing that way right from the start anyway, so that's what you expect from them. As we said earlier in the game, sometimes it works for them. And for that first 25 minutes after half-time, their game was in great order.
Just a reminder to all patrons,
The Knights show their class towards the end and we'll get away with this one.
Taking into consideration local residents to ensure the quiet and good order of the neighbourhood is maintained. We also remind patrons it is an offence to remove alcohol or liquor from Marathon Stadium. And just a reminder, our last home game in a fortnight against the Adelaide Rams, a Saturday afternoon game here at Marathon Stadium. The Knights have light card over next Sunday against the Balmain Tigers.
Jaron O'Doherty since he's been on the park. The Dearest in the 5/8 position now. Moody, he's been one of the best for the Newcastle Knights. The Dearest, nice ball for Andrew Jones. Craigie, too much for Wes Patton to handle. Is this play on? Pinchinelli knock on.
Owen tried to get that one away to Evan Cochran. Pinchinelli picks it up. Referee called it back. He was looking for someone to come down the inside, but they realised that the knock-on had been called.
19 points to 12 the score. It was 12-0 at the half-time break, favouring Newcastle. Been able to just come up with the one try in the second half, the Knights. After losing their last 2 matches, they'll be happy to walk away with the 2 competition points. Remaining on 33 competition points at the head of the table, along with Brisbane and Melbourne. But Newcastle will remain in 3rd place on percentages. Goddard, he's been the best for the Gold Coast. Lee Jackson comes along. Andrew Johns. Gidley puts the step on. Sean Rutter went without it.
It would have been disappointing for the Gold Coast. They've put some great efforts in here today. Knights have, that one goes to hand. They're a chance of scoring again. And probably 19 to 12 is a fair indication of the game. The Coast have been in it for most of the way. 22 handling errors from Newcastle is just something that we're not used to seeing, and it does tell a story, doesn't it? The fact that they kept the Coast in the game for so long.
This ground in remarkably good order. There's a tragic handling error to end this contest. Just 2 seconds to go. And the Newcastle runs. Short Cup victory number 16 for the season. 19 points to 12 the final score.